Well, Onyx, it's the spooky season, and you know what that means. That's right, Halloween, a time of trick-or-treating, ghouls, and spirits within. In fact, my first trick-or-treater should be arriving right now.
Salty? Jake, I take you for a trick-or-treater. Yeah, I'm just here to return your god. Oh, thanks. What did you think of Final Fantasy IX? Besides this guy's sucking, I love it. Hell yeah, glad to hear it. Also, what do you know about this? You don't know? No? Get in here.
Imagine a film so ambitious, so visually stunning, that it nearly bankrupts the very studio that created it. The Spirits Within was supposed to be the future of animation, a groundbreaking leap into photorealism. But how did this cinematic marvel, a true testament to artistic vision, become one of the most infamous box office bombs in history? Production on Final Fantasy The Spirits Within began in October of 1997 on 2 sound stages at the Hawaii Film Studio in Diamond Head and the company headquarters in Honolulu. Square USA built a $45 million production facility, which included a render farm of 960 Pentium 3 workstations to help render the film's 141,964 frames, where a 200-member crew labored for 4 years to realize Hironobu Sakaguchi's original vision of the film. The film's production was a massive and ambitious endeavor for its time, costing $137 million to make. During pre-production, the movie's working title was Gaia, during which it went through about 50 different incarnations, one of which included a New York City divided into an upper city and lower city, riot police, oxygen salesmen, and dispensing machines, and even French Foreign Legion desert troops and European biohazard soldiers, which to me seems to draw a lot of inspiration from Final Fantasy VII and Midgar.
Whoa, easy. Easy, man, just got this jacket in the item shop. Is this movie really that good?
See, that really depends on what your definition of good and movie is.
There is no hope.
Did your cat really just talk?
Don't worry about it. We open the movie with, well, nothing but a good old wasteland. She steps on something, only for the audience to learn that it's a dream sequence. And it's the year 2065.
Every night, the same dream. The same strange planet.
She wonders why she's been having the same dream and that it's been 34 years since they've arrived on this planet. But what exactly are they? Could it be the spirits within? She then arrives in old New York City and, I gotta say, is this Futurama?
Pepsi? Sony? MasterCard? Now I don't know who sponsored this movie.
She then fires some type of flare gun that would make you think that she's calling for help, but actually allows her to see the spirits.
Roll credits.
She then finds herself running away from something that we are supposed to believe is a threat, and then some ODSTs from Halo show up and land on some green goop, which I will say, the futuristic tech featured in this film is actually neat for the time. They then tell her that she's in a restricted area and she's coming with them.
What's she doing here, Captain?
I don't know, but we're getting her out.
After a small chase sequence, she tells him that there's a life form here. Well, besides them.
Tell me we're not risking our necks for this plant.
I wouldn't even call it a plant. It's a weed.
I wouldn't even call it a weed.
After she extracts the plant, it's made clear that they are surrounded.
We're surrounded.
No shit!
After a harrowing escape, it's then revealed that her name is Dr. Aki Ross, and that she had clearance to be there. But what's this? Apparently Gray, the captain, and Aki have some history together?
Yeah. Nice to see you too.
Our assumed heroes make it to New York City where they have to get scanned, and we get some great comedy relief from the supporting cast.
Sir, these scanners are probably worse for us than the Phantoms.
Oh, probably about it, Captain. These machines are suspected of causing sterility, and I want to have a little Neil Jr. calling me Daddy someday.
That's a spooky thought.
Why are you always busting my chops?
People, let's just do this thing, all right?
Aki informs them that she doesn't have to get scanned due to her security clearance, but why? Well, no time to find out because Gray is infected. In order to defeat the spirit that's infecting him, she has to play Trauma Center? Did you ever play Trauma Center?
Nope.
Man, it's a fun time. After the spirit is eradicated, he comes to, and then we are introduced to Dr. Sid, who will claim responsibility for Aki not being scanned.
Are you alright?
Yeah, but the military's impounded my ship.
What's with her?
What's with her and the captain?
What's with her and that stupid plant?
We are then in Dr. Sid's lab, and can I just say, I like this representation.
Because he's bald.
Absolutely. Dr. Sid and Aki drop a lot of exposition here, such as the plant that they had just gathered was the 6th spirit of 8 that they needed, and that Dr. Sid has also discovered the energy source in each of the phantoms as well as all life forms. This is where I think this movie fails at. It starts at the end of Aki's journey instead of the beginning. Why not only 4 spirits and make it that much more connected to the 4 crystals from Final Fantasy III? But anyway, Aki has another dream sequence filled with trailer fodder, and now there's aliens running somewhere? Aki wakes up and realizes she's running late to a meeting with the Space Council, and here we are introduced to General Hind, aka the antagonist.
With all due respect, did you come here just to talk about some Gaia theory?
I'm James Woods, and I'm pretty sure I'm the bad guy. Look at me in my black leathering gloves.
Look at that smart face.
General Hind is angry because his Zeus cannon has been completed for a month and the council won't let him fire it at the meteor site where the phantoms originated from. Dr. Sid explains that while yes, it would eliminate the alien threat, it would also damage Gaia, the Earth's spirit, which gives us this wonderful dialogue.
So if I point a gun at the Earth and fire, I'm not just making a hole in the ground, I'm killing the planet.
Yes! That's exactly what it would mean! I'm convinced that James Woods isn't voicing a character here, but in fact this is just James Woods. Aki then informs him that it is possible to stop the phantoms without harming the planet because she has one trapped inside of her. Now that we've established the core members of this movie, now might be the best time to go over the voice cast of the movie. We already know about James Woods playing James Woods, but what about the others? You've got Aki Ross voiced by Ming-Na, who was the voice of Mulan, Alec Baldwin, who at the time was known for Beetlejuice, The Hunt for Red October, and Pearl Harbor, voicing Gray, Ving Rhames voicing Ryan, known for his role as Marcellus Wallace in Pulp Fiction, and later as Cobra Bubbles from Lilo and Stitch, Perry Gilpin as Roz from Frasier, voicing Jane, Donald Sutherland as Dr. Sid, who would go on to play President Snow in the Hunger Games franchise, and last but not least, we have Neil, who's voiced by Steve Buscemi. After their meeting with the council, we cut back to Aki doing something, and Gray is there letting her know that they've decided to postpone firing the cannon. Aki lets Gray know that she's looking for the 7th spirit, and that she needs 8 to complete her device. It's during this that we get some background info on what the first 5 spirits were, which again, would have been nice to have seen Aki's entire journey. After this touchy-feely moment, we then cut back to General Hind plotting with another one of his military lackeys who may sound familiar.
You and the Deep Eyes are being temporarily reassigned. You will guard Dr. Ross when she re-enters the wasteland.
Understood, sir.
He's ordering Gray to report any abnormalities Aki might have to the Major, and insinuating that she's a spy as she harbors an alien inside of her. Oh, but wait, we have another dream sequence! This one shows the aliens fighting each other, then they stop. Then this happens. She's convinced that the dreams are a means of communication between her and the phantoms inside her. We join them on the hunt for the 7th spirit in Tucson. Oh man, I've seen this place before. This is in Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. Kadash and his gang are up there on that cliff.
That's a way better movie to watch than this.
But they aren't alone, as the general has sent a few of his men with them, as a precaution in case she goes rogue from the spirits within. As they navigate the wasteland, they discover that it's not the bird, but his backpack?
How do you explain that? The packs power our weapons, the barrier cities. I mean, it's just bioetheric energy.
And to create that energy, we use living tissue, single-cell organisms.
And then this kaiju of a spirit rips the spirit right out of generic soldier. Ripped his soul right out of him.
GG.
Aki passes out and has another dream sequence and sees all the aliens standing around and then an explosion. She comes to and one of the other generic soldiers shoots her in the chest. Then he dies. Ripped his soul right out of him.
GG.
James Wood receives word that there was an accident and that Aki and her crew barely made it back. He wants Aki and Gray under arrest and all research materials confiscated.
She is dying.
But there must be something you can do.
Aki is fighting with only 6 of the 8 spirits. We'll have to implant the 7th directly into her chest plate.
Yeah, so in order for them to put the spirit of the backpack into Aki, they need a sympathetic spirit to help hold her here in this world. Gray and Aki witness the destruction of the alien planet and start to piece together that the meteor that hit Earth was actually a piece of their planet. They sailed it across the cosmos, much like Genova did in Final Fantasy VII. But before we can explain that to Dr. Sid, faceless soldiers come in and arrest them. We then cut back to General Hind with a picture of his dead family, telling his subordinates that he trusts them and that they know what to do. He tells them to arrest the scientists at the barrier control facility and to start reducing the power of the barrier around the city. We then return to our heroes in jail discussing their dream, where Aki is talking about the phantoms and the relationship between the different sizes and variants. But not before this guy raises a good question.
But how could they survive the trip across outer space on a hunk of rock?
They didn't. They're not an invading army. They're ghosts.
We then cut back to General Hind and his cronies seeing the phantoms are now moving in, but listen closely to what is being said here.
Major, what the hell is going on here?
They're in the pipes. They're moving with the bioetheric energy flow.
That's impossible. No living thing could survive in those pipes.
Exactly, no living thing, because they are spirits. It's then that a giant spirit starts taking names and wipes everyone out. What have you done, James Woods?
What have you done? I feel like I'm in a prison.
Hey, you're the one who asked about this. Our heroes, still sitting in prison, make their daring escape due to a power failure and see mass chaos ensue. Then spirits show up and separate Aki and Gray from the rest of the group. And now, because the spirits went through the pipes, everyone can see them now. Everyone is dead. But wait! The B-team is here with a sweet ride! Amidst the chaos, the spirits are ripping the souls out of everyone in New York. But take a look at this. No one dies! Our heroes decide they need to get to Aki's ship and get out of here. But due to some reckless driving, Ryan is injured?
Talk to me, Sarge.
Ouch!
Ryan chooses to be left behind while the others go and recover Aki's ship. However, they need supplies in order to take off. So Gray sends Jane to look for fuel cells, Neil to get them ready for takeoff, Aki and Dr. Sid to ready the ATV to retrieve Ryan, and he's going to do something? With their task in mind, they head out. Jane finds the fuel cells and Neil has them ready for takeoff. However, there is still an impound boot thing on Aki's ship, so Neil and Jane go out to disengage, but not before trouble shows up. That's right, both Neil and Jane die.
No! Not Steve Buscemi!
Then Gray tries to send Aki and Dr. Sid off into space with the autopilot so he can be the hero, but then something starts shooting the giant kaiju spirit. It's Ryan, which I have to ask, couldn't he have potentially saved Neil and Jane? Why did they have to die? Doesn't matter, because he's dead too. Gray tries to be all cool and edgy and wants him to leave, but Aki isn't leaving without him, so he jumps for it. And I swear, going back and watching this, that their ship is hit by this thing numerous times, so shouldn't they be dead? Clearly they're not. Once they leave Earth's orbit, they bang.
You think if you're clapping in space, would anyone hear it?
Sir, this is a Wendy's. We then cut back to General Hind, and I have to say, this is probably one of the smoothest transitions I've ever seen. He's heading towards the Zeus cannon and is filled with even more narcissism than I thought was even possible for James Woods. Meanwhile, elsewhere in space, Dr. Sid suggests that the 8th spirit might actually be in the crater. Gray, trying to be the voice of reason, says that's a one-way trip and they should look elsewhere. Aki, of course, says, let's go into the crater. General Hind, boards the Zeus cannon and explains to the council that the spirits had built an immunity to the barrier and that's why it failed. The council, believing him, gives him the access codes to fire the cannon at the crater exactly where our heroes are. But just as they approach the 8th spirit, General Hind fires the cannon at the meteor site and destroys the 8th spirit. Trying to escape, they get knocked loose from their tether to Dr. Sid's ship and somehow survive the fall. Aki then makes a collect call to the space station that General Hind is firing the cannon from and requests that he stops firing the cannon because he's hurting the spirit of an alien homeworld and that it was never an invasion.
Oh, I see. And what have we been fighting all this time, Doctor? Ghosts?
Yes, you stupid! If you would actually listen, or let alone pay attention to the world around you, you would know this. He continues firing on the crater numerous times until the cannon overheats. Doing so causes the barrier around Aki and Gray's vehicle to completely bottom out, making them sitting ducks. They go out into the crater and discover Gaia, the Earth's spirit. Aki feels a little weak and goes to make a call to Dr. Sid. We then cut back to General Hind attempting to bypass the Zeus cannon's overheating issues.
Look at that smug face.
Sid answers Aki's call and explains why the 8th spirit was there. Because Gaia was there? Gray, seeing that they are about to be swarmed, starts firing at the spirits, but Sid tells him not to fire as it could kill the compatible spirit. Then, mid-call, Aki has another dream. This time, the spirit within comes out and attacks her? Somehow she now has the 8th spirit, but how does she know this?
A phantom told me.
Oh, great.
Now, I'm no doctor, but if I had to guess, it probably had something to do with this. They set everything up so that the spirit wave can do its thing, and wouldn't you know, it worked. But not for long as General Hind fires his Zeus cannon one more time. Then he tries to fire it again for a second time. This time, doesn't bode well for him. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Aki and Gray wake up to find that their vehicle is destroyed, and Gray is hurt and accepts that it's a one-way trip.
No, Gray, hang on, please. I still have the wave.
Somehow, by the power of love, Gray becomes the catalyst needed so Aki can release the energy wave and end the suffering of the alien spirits. Then he dies.
Oh, it's warm.
Then, as Aki rises out from the crater with Gray's body, she sees a lone eagle flying, and that's it. That's how it ends.
What are your thoughts? Two things. Okay. I'm blaming both of us for being in this situation together.
Fair.
Second, where's the giant swords, the magic, the summon? I was promised Final Fantasy.
While The Spirits Within was an ambitious movie and raised the bar for computer animated movies, the overall story is dull and removed, which is a shame. Even if this were called anything other than Final Fantasy, I'm not sure if it would have fared any better. I'm not entirely sure what happened. Maybe it was the voice direction in the booth, maybe they weren't into it, I'm not sure. Another thing you may have noticed is that this soundtrack is completely barren of anything resembling Final Fantasy. This soundtrack is completely forgettable, and the film only credits 2 songs from the movie's almost 1-hour soundtrack. But this movie flopped so bad that it delayed the eventual merger between Square and publisher Enix, and made back only $85 million on a budget of $137 million. But I do have a theory. The film was released in the summer of 2001 and took about 4 years to make, which means development would have started in 1997. What important game released at this time? Final Fantasy VII, and Final Fantasy VIII was also being worked on at the same time. It's important to note that these games were leaning more into sci-fi, drifting further from the fantasy that made the game so beloved. Which just blows my mind, because he wrote the scenario for Final Fantasy IX at the same time as the film, and called it the closest to his ideal of what Final Fantasy should be. Then why did you make this? If it wasn't obvious, Square flew too close to the sun due to the success of Final Fantasy VII.
Okay, but how am I supposed to get back an hour and 46 minutes of my life?
I wish I could help you with that. But hey, maybe the time spent was the Spirits Within along the way.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't have to. It's a movie.
I know that, but it's a Final Fantasy movie. It's supposed to have all these things.
I agree. I blame Final Fantasy VII and VIII for this.
I blame whoever made this movie. Who didn't like this movie?
Dude, I think your cat just dropped a meteor on my car. Well, looks like I'm gonna be here for a while. Give me a plot over or something.
What?